I have been drawing for a long time, obviously. And in that time, I have made probably, literally not even kidding, hundreds of characters. And I still continue to do that. One thing I've talked about on this channel is trying to redesign and revamp some of my old characters. And I'm gonna try doing that today. If you are familiar with my channel, you might already know who these characters are. This is Sarah and Beth. They're one of the first OCs that I've actually made. You might recognize them from this animation meme uploaded in 2017. The Jenny OC meme. You know, with the bobbing heads and all that shit. Yeah! But not only did I make YouTube videos about them and drew them all the time, I instantly made like some sort of drama comic with them as 15, 16-year-olds, so it was not good at all. There's a couple things I want to accomplish, okay? First of all, I want to get out of a drawing funk. I've been in one for a while and it fucking sucks and I hate it. The second thing I want to do is kind of update their designs. I mean, seeing the improvement would be nice. And third of all, I want to actually make them a story. I want to give them like actual personalities, which I am hoping that I will accomplish. I will say that I have been wanting to do this for a while, but also I have been inspired by Emma Artley. Shout out Emma Artley! I love you, Emma Artley! Anyway, I've actually been taking some creative writing classes from the sponsor of today's video, Skillshare! Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives with a wide range of topics, ranging from illustration, graphic design, photography to music, and way more. It's designed by creatives for creatives, and no matter what skill level you're at, there are classes available for you. Skillshare also features learning paths that are curated class collections to master a specific skill. A few examples include learning the basics of drawing, or learning how to use Procreate or watercolors. With me trying to revamp some of my old characters, I've been partaking in some creative writing classes to try and make their stories more, well, better. And with everyone going back to school, it's a perfect time for us to start expanding our knowledge, even as a college dropout. The first 500 people to join Skillshare using my link in the description will get 1 month of Skillshare for free. Try out Skillshare for free right now. Well, after you finish this video, of course. Okay, now that we're into it, who the fuck are Sarah and Beth? The only personality trait I gave them was gay. Slay, right? But also, not only can they be gay, but you're forgetting one critical thing. You forgot to give them a little more personality. I was trying to figure out what timeline I should put them in, because with a lot of my OCs, they will grow with me. So like, I made these in like high school, so they were high school age. But now that I'm college age, I'm like, yeah, it makes more sense that they would be in college rather than high school. I f***ing hate when they do that. They're like, here's a story of these teenagers in high school, but the show's rating is for adults only. But the show is also about teenagers, so, but it's not for teenagers, it's for adults and mature. Anyway, I gave them a bunch of outfits, and I don't usually do this, but because I'm revamping them, I was like, should they stay in 2016 and I do 2016 like fashion and like all that stuff, and immediately decided against it because if it were me and I was trapped in 2016, I would want to kill. And rather than being high school students, now that they are in their 20s, I think it could kind of help me give a bit of a plot line, okay? When I first designed Sarah, she was a party girl, had sugar daddies, she's a life of a party, she's very outgoing, but doesn't have a lot of people that are, like, actually close to her. Until she meets Beth. Oh my god, it's a romance story? Kelsey Animated makes a romance story with her characters. What the fuck? But anyway, she's fun, she's loud, and I made her kind of a bitch. Just like the fun kind of bitch. Sarah would not be very demure at all unless she was with the antagonist of our story, which I will get into later. But right now, Sarah is a very outgoing, very loud, very big personality, okay? And in the Jenny meme that I did, you know the whole, like, red and blue character duos? Sarah and Beth are basically my red and blue characters, very red-coded. And meanwhile, Beth was, like, more shy and awkward, introvert, like, basically a self-insert almost. It's so obvious to me now, but, like, when I made these characters, I gave Sarah, like, my moles, and then I gave Beth my anxiety. So there are two wolves inside of me, and it is both Sarah and Beth, and they're kissing. Seeing them in my new style is, like, giving me a lot of inspiration now, because one of the things that I've hated looking back at my old art of them is how skinny their fucking necks are. Why did I do that? What am I talking about? When I first made them, I imagined that Beth would be in, like, an art school, and then they would meet each other in a bar, and it's very cliche and stupid, and it didn't make any sense, and Beth going to art school had literally nothing to do with the plot. You know what the original plot was? This is a 16-year-old writing a drama plot. Okay, so two girls, they meet in a bar. Two girls, they meet in a bar, and they go back to Beth's place and don't do anything. And then Sarah is like, I have this toxic sugar daddy who I take all this money from, but I just want to be with someone who doesn't control my life financially and emotionally anymore. And I'm already living in your house, like, let's just move in immediately, because that's what lesbians do, I think. As a 15-year-old, I'm like, yeah, lesbians do that. The U-Haul already in your fucking driveway. So they'll live together, but then, like, Sarah doesn't have a job and, like, still keeps taking money from the sugar daddy, and Beth gets upset at that. She's like, you gotta cut him off. And Sarah's like, ugh, fine. Then I jump to even later. They're married. Sarah and Beth has adopted a child. Their daughter's name is Sarah Lynn because I watched BoJack Horseman.
Rehab was supposed to be a fresh start.
And then later, the toxic sugar daddy comes back into their life, and Sarah has an affair, and then gets pregnant, and then has another son, Artie, dies in childbirth. I'm like, girl, what? What the fuck is that? So, yeah, that's something we definitely have to change. I'm gonna keep some of the themes in there, okay? We're gonna keep the art school. We're gonna keep the terrible relationship that Sarah and the male manipulator have. We're gonna have Sarah and Beth's relationship develop a little bit, then have some tension between her being in a relationship with, like, a 50-year-old man. Okay, we're gonna keep that. And then eventually, over the course of Sarah and Beth getting closer together and becoming friends and bringing out parts of each other and healing parts of each other, growing together, that they, like, kill that guy or something. First of all, I think Sarah should also go to art school and not just be a party girl, okay? She can be both. She can be a multifaceted character, okay? I'm thinking she and Beth go to art school, where I can bring that art school and have it be actually important to the story. Okay? It's like a prestigious art school. Beth would have had to worked up a lot of money. She probably has, like, some part-time job somewhere, is a full-time student, maybe on a scholarship. And Sarah, I'm thinking that toxic sugar daddy should still be in the story. So it's, oh my god, I hate this guy. This toxic sugar daddy, his name is Miles. I think Miles York. Rich ass name. And he's also a bitch. That's his character. Moving on! I imagine he would be involved with the school. I don't think he would be a principal or anything. I just think he would be involved in the art world. Maybe he is some world-renowned artist. Maybe he's just a big sponsor for like art exhibitions and like art auctions. Something in that kind of realm, right? Makes sense why he would be rich. Makes sense why he would be tied to the school. His financial contributions give him like influence over the institution, pulling strings, maybe some like illegal art dealing, something like that Sarah and Beth can like uncover, and then she would finally be like free from him. Throughout their kind of story, Miles would be a classic male manipulator, okay? He's rich, he wants a piece of arm candy to go to art exhibitions with, and that ends up being Sarah, okay? She's like a third his age. Ugh. That's our antagonist of the story. He would not only control Sarah through like a financial way, but also an emotional way. Like, he wants to like isolate her, keep her to himself so that he has some sort of control over her. But then her seeking freedom from him would want to start going to an art school. They go to all these art events, she's interested in it, she's smart, okay, and ends up wanting to go to school, and he allows her to under either he funds it or like there's a scholarship thing that he has. I don't know. I dropped out of college. Okay. Miles, we hate Miles. Moving on. With this new story, I'm kind of thinking, okay, well maybe they don't meet at a bar, okay? Fucking lame. They would meet each other at maybe one of these art exhibitions, okay? And then immediately I was like, no, we're scrapping that. They would meet each other at a college party, okay? Because when I started drawing them, I immediately made a comic. I made 3 pages of this comic and then never touched it ever again, okay? These comics were bad, okay? Let me do a dramatic reading for you. Really, Beth? A party? Why did you even try to go out? Oh gosh, I'm so weird and awkward. Go out there and do something. Maybe I should get a drink? Hey, you alright? I'm fine! Maybe I should just go home. Oh my god! I have to talk to her. No. What are you're walking to her? Stop! You're an idiot. What are you even gonna say to her? Great, you did it. Now what? Shoot. Say something! Literally 3 pages of Beth's inner monologue and no dialogue. Why? Did I actually talk like that? That's so fucking cringe. Anyway, I was like, I have to redeem myself. For the love of God, I can do better than that. And so in this comic, they are at a college party and Beth spills a drink on herself, goes to the kitchen and actually talks to Sarah for once. I imagine that they would have seen each other on campus, seen each other at any of these art events. Maybe they have a figure drawing class together. That's an art class, right? But Sarah, having like no connections at this school, she doesn't really make friends. Like, she's likable, but no one is ever close with her. And also the fact that her boyfriend doesn't like when she has other people in her life, doesn't want her to have any sort of support system. It's very hard for her to make and keep friends. Beth, on the other hand, is socially anxious, is probably, not really a workaholic, but is, really into her studies and like academic success. She's a fucking nerd, okay? So she also doesn't make friends. And she's socially awkward, has anxiety. You're welcome. That's from me to you. Giving myself some representation here. Anyway, Sarah and Beth would probably have seen each other but not interacted until they're both at this, like, party. And I only did 3 pages because, f*** you, I'm not doing more! Comics are so hard to do. Oh my god. All the comic artists out there, this took me so fucking long. And I already knew what I wanted to play out. Like, I actually wanted them to, like, talk to each other. Granted, they do not introduce themselves yet, okay? I don't think they really need to. You know who they are just for these 3 pages, okay? If I wanted to do more, what I would do is I'd have them introduce each other, they start hanging out, they would become friends, and then lovers eventually. I would like to see a scene where Sarah and Beth are chit-chatting, and Beth is like, oh god, I'm so awkward, I really want to ask this girl out. And then Sarah just drops the bomb like, yeah, my boyfriend, who's like 50, by the way. And then Beth's like, oh, cool. So, was it casual? Looking back at this, I didn't really change their story too much. I just made it make more sense and more realistic. I don't know, I dropped out, okay? But their story is boring because where's the conflict? I think that's why I skipped entirely over their story to kill Sarah during childbirth and bring Miles back as an antagonist, because I was like, okay, yeah, they're in love, but like, where's the drama? Oh, I'll put it in 20 years down the line. Huh? Girl, can we back up a little bit? Part of me wants to take a little inspiration from Life is Strange. If you know, you know, am I right? And maybe kind of have some mystery behind Miles and all of his money and his like dealings with their school. And then I even had the idea about Sarah's mom being an artist, and like her and Miles were like business partners, and then he did something like not legal and took over all this money, and in turn kind of in a really creepy way, because he's a piece of shit, like adopted Sarah and is like controls her in order to control the situation that he created, i.e. like maybe killing her mother. I don't know. Does every story have to have murder in it? He'd be going to jail where the fuck he belongs. And then in the end they can kiss, and then maybe later I would give them their children back. I don't know. We're not revamping that part, okay? Scrap that. So even though it's very basic, I think it is a very big improvement. And redrawing my characters again make the little 16-year-old in me happy again, okay? I also did a redraw of this little kissing picture, and then I had forgotten to draw Sarah's roots, okay? So I went back and I drew them in, and then I saved it. Turns out if you override a save that you were recording the time-lapse on, saving over it gets rid of that time-lapse. So, f*** me, I guess. Good to know that, but here are all like the sketches, the line art, the color, the rendering, the everything. I still have that, but no time-lapse. What do we learn from this, okay? What are the 3 things that I wanted to do, okay? I wanted to get out of my art funk, and I think this did help, because now that I'm obsessing over all these situations that I can see them being in, yeah, I think it makes me want to draw them a little more. 2, I wanted to update their designs. Now, did I do that? Not really. I just kind of gave them new outfits. I made it a little better now. So I think I succeeded in that as well. The third thing, make their story better. I like having Miles be an antagonist in their story and kind of contributes a bigger part. I think the problems that he would cause would just give Sarah and Beth more of things to overcome and things that would ultimately lead them to be closer and kiss and falling love. But I would say, chat, this is a win, okay? If you stayed around this long, I hope it made even just the littlest bit of sense to you, because a lot of ideas have been going in my mind and it's very hard to articulate. If this is a series that you like, let me know, because I definitely want to do it more. Like I said, I have 100 million OCs that I can make better. Let me know in the comments. Check out Skillshare. And yeah, this is fun. Thank you so much. I love you the most. Bye-bye.